Hello, chat. Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Diusi. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to have that double link play. But hi. I see you. We got something new you guys saw, didn't ya? We got a new intro and ending transition scene. We don't have an in-between transition scene because I don't feel like doing one. At some point, I'm going to end up doing a raid scene using the Anvil chorus. With that said and done, I want to know if anybody knows what happened last time. This is not the worst case. I actually like this case. Shenanigans happened last time. Well, we got to meet... Okay, so... Phoenix is being accused of getting Maggie Bird guilty, even though he wasn't there. It is shown that his so-called double I didn't see an issue. We were actually making fun of it. You don't like it because of John Armstrong. You don't like him because of John Armstrong, okay? That's the only reason why you don't like it. And that's not a good reason to not like the case. Matter of fact, there's quite a few other people that actually says the case isn't that bad. If you judge a case based on a character, then you're spoiling for everybody else that seems to actually enjoy the case. I actually don't feel that there's any bad case in Trials and Tribulations. Trials and Tribulations is right now, in my opinion, the best Ace Attorney game in the series. There's no bad one. Well, that doesn't make the case bad. You can have your opinions on characters, but that does not mean that the case is bad. The case actually is actually pretty good. Because it fits with a lot of the style of Ace Attorney games that played previously. I can understand people's dislike for Big Tops, but you gotta understand, Big Tops is more an emotional case than it is a physical case. This was the physical case. So, because it's not only the emotions from the characters, but it also has to deal with the situation Phoenix is in, has to deal with the situation the client is in, so on and so forth. Whereas Big Tops, it's all emotional. There's nothing really physical that's involved with it. It's just a bunch of broken down talents that has lost their headmaster at the circus. They're all morally broken down because they've lost their ringleader. So that's the gist of Big Tops, okay? And if you can understand the emotional heartbreak between the characters, the case is not that bad. Whereas here, the only emotional character that you have is literally Maggie Bird, because she's mostly affected in this case. Nobody else is really affected in this case. John Armstrong, yeah, he's in massive debt and stuff. But is he really an emotional character? Not really. He had no connections with the victim at all. We'll definitely find out about more characters in this case. But other than that, if you're just judging the case based upon one character, that's bad. Very bad. Right, Di? Now, I haven't really, in my opinion, I haven't found any of them that is considered the worst case. Out of all the cases, I like and dislike Rise from the Ashes. I don't dislike Rise from the Ashes because it's so long, because that's everybody else's complaints. The case dragged on too long. My concern is that there are some strong points in Rise from the Ashes. There's some weak points in Rise from the Ashes. That's the point I'm trying to make. I like and I dislike Rise from the Ashes, but the length of the case is not the case. When you hit some high points, you also hit some low points in the case as well. And the fact that there are some key points in the investigation just drags, it doesn't make the case that well interesting. But the trial portion, I do like. I like the 3 days. To be honest with you, I like the 3 day. Matter of fact, we do revisit the 3 days again in one of the other games. I do like the 3 day. They still have it implemented. But it's not as long as you think it is, Phoenix. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game is actually smaller than Justice for All and Trials and Tribulation. Literally. It is very small compared to those other two games. That's why they add Rise from the Ashes to the game, because of how short the first game was. That's actually shorter than Justice for All and Trials and Tribulation. Those two games are longer. And then when you get into Apollo Justice is the same length as Trials and Tribulations. Then you get into Miles Edgeworth, both Miles Edgeworth games, they're longer than Apollo Justice. Literally longer. And if you didn't like the 3-day trial system, why are you even playing Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice? Because they are the longest games in the Phoenix Wright series. Matter of fact, Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice are technically longer than the Great Ace Attorney. And yes, they do eventually revisit the 3-day cycle in one of the cases. I don't care about achievements. I've played every single Ace Attorney game that's been released. I even played Prosecutor's Path. Can you say that? Have you played Prosecutor's Path? That's not what I asked. I played Prosecutor's Path. Andy streamed Prosecutor's Path on here once. It wasn't that long ago. January 7th, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. A little bit. But, we'll have fun with it. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honor. Maggie! We already know who this fella is, right? Di, you know who this one is, right? You know exactly who this fella is, right? Ah! The Detective Gumshoe! You knew that all along, didn't you? Are you doing all right? How are you feeling? As if you need to ask you the question, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay? Roger! All you need to do is download an emulator and play it. Because currently that is the only way to play it. Currently. Unless you want to fork money on Etsy or AliExpress to buy a copy of Prosecutor's Path. Your choice. Definitely your choice. Well, the thing is, I own it. I own it. Oh, come on, Shelf. Cooperate. I own it. See? I am still trying to look to get a manual for it, but I own it. The only problem is it does not play in a 3DS. That's the only issue. It does not play in a 3DS. And you! Yes? You'd better square this case away, got it, pal? Maggie's innocent, you hear? Yes. The other issue is, it's unstable. So you can only play it for about maybe a couple of hours, and then you would have to turn it off and restart it, because otherwise it's going to crash. So there's a slight bug into it. But it plays. I've beaten the whole game. Yep, that's the version I played. That is the version I played. And Andy streamed it. If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Hey, detective, you're on our side for once, right? Yup. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Of course. I've got this situation under control. I'm going to be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? Sure. Okay? We're forming a united front today, pal. You got me? I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. January 7th, January 7th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Better. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous show, your response was, "You talking to me?" It was a little, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty? So, Mr. Godot, your opening statement, please. Mr. Troy, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you are Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. That's what I intend to find out. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimonies during this retrial. Nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation. Die. Get ready for this. Witness, state your name for the court. Huh? Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. Other way around, detective! Sorry. Anyways, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah, the guy who was on the initial investigation tied up with another case now. I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control for everyone's sake. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of the case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Eld. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of the Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. Court accepts this into evidence. Glenn's autopsy report added to the court records. And here are the floor plans for the restaurant. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress bringing the accused. Yeah. The victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of the coffee. At the time of death, there were two other people at the restaurant. Mr. John Armstrong, and the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Trudeau. Still seems to be very straightforward case to me. Tray B and floor plans added to the court record. Come, detective. Take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own two hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. The incident. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn L., was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of the poison were found in his coffee cup. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, he looks like Maggie Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. The facts of this case seems to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time. Is that understood? I already told you that wasn't me! Alright, ready, Di? You ready, Di? Alright. I see 3 recommended statements, so let's push forward. Potassium cyanide? I've heard of that chemical before. But how exactly is this poison? How strong is this poison, Detective Gumshoe? This stuff's lethal. Eat too much in your history. Well, you don't even need to eat too much of it. How much is too much? Lethal dose is 0.2 grams. That's enough to finish anyone off. See? Not that much. 0.2 grams? How much is that? You know when you swab your ears for earwax? Yeah, about that much. Which, now, doctors are saying not to do that. Because it could cause ear canal damage. Earwax, huh? Sounds like something Gumshoe's got in abundance of. Okay, Phoenix, we don't need to pick on the detective. Such a small quantity of poison could have been concealed anywhere. Some kind of a motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion. You know what my golden rule is, Detective? Check out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. Huh? I don't get it. I'm saying we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. So stick to the facts. Hard, objective facts, Detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Remember that saying, Di? Come on, Gumshoe. It says she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. You know it. That's what we heard yesterday, too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he sold the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared is no way implicates my client. Ha! I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket? One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting the search of the defendant. What? Order! Order! Ha! She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. Lucky? Maggie Bird has been a string of bad luck. You submit the ticket as evidence to the court immediately. I better keep an eye on that ticket. The way the judge's voice is quivering. Victim's lottery ticket added to the court record. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial too. But it feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, you say? Yeah, I don't think the ticket's any good, so it's virtually nothing now. Sorry to say, because the drawing is like a month old now, so the ticket is useless. which means that drawing, all that $500,000 was reimbursed. Sorry, this card is expired. Exactly. So nobody can get any money off of it because they reimbursed all that money, because that ticket was never submitted when it was won. Just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honor. And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately. You really think there are any contradictions in this testimony? To be honest, I don't know. The gumshoe told us out in the lobby. He said we'd be forming a united front, right? How will we win this case if he doesn't throw us a line? I don't have a whole lot of options right now. The best I can do is gather the facts together, I guess. Still got 2 more recommended statements that needs to be pressed. Can I stop you for just a minute? Huh? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said, and What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey! Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Well, it could still mean that their testimony was fabricated. And that's why there's a retrial to prove that those testimonies were fabricated. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. There are 2 testimonies ties up on that. They both said that there was no other guy at the table. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or no? Well, maybe the other witness just missed him. Perhaps the view of the victim's table was obscure in some way. Ha! That argument is as weak as the coffee at Tribulations. I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? Looks more like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. This is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef, moments after the poisoning took place. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef, moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime, how, Mr. Trite, could anyone have overlooked the second person at the table? It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clear. Crime photo added to the court record. He was listening to the radio, you say? Yeah, he had a portable radio in his chest pocket. Maggie told us that too, didn't she? Something about how one of them had some sort of earpiece. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or no? And what was it that the victim was listening to on the radio, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? How should I know? Thanks a lot. We're one step closer to the middle of nowhere. Actually, we do know what he was listening to. Because it's very easy. What was the reason why he had all those lottery tickets to begin with? That will give you the answer. This isn't going very well, is it? Detective, could you perhaps tell us about the poison and how it was used? So traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid? Or was it a powder? And if I had to put in a layman's term, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on the table: sugar, salt, pepper.
Objection!
Ah! Do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? Victim took his coffee black with no sugar. Technically, you can put salt in your coffee. What that does is take the bitterness out. So what you do is, you add a little bit of salt into the coffee ground, stick it in the coffee maker, have it brew, and then when you sip your coffee, it's less bitter. If you're a coffee drinker, try it. You only need about a pinch of salt. That's all you need. Seems that the poison could have only been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Are you actually certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? According to the file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was...
Objection!
In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. Huh? For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir? Yes, that piece. What piece was it again? This! Should I be grateful that this coffee is only hot enough to give me first degree burn? Di likes this Sprite, a Phoenix, right? She's probably sitting there and says, how's that cup sticking to his forehead? No, I remember. This is the victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh yes, it's unmistakable. This is clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poison coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter death that the witness brought to him like this. Ugh! For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victims and the defendants. Coffee cup added to the court record. Upon further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. That's enough. The facts of this case seems overwhelmingly clear to me. It does, huh? The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for the sum of the money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind a man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance with one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more against Maggie? This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow, that's not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like can't be blood, can it? Ha! Seems the star of our play was a little flustered and somehow spilled coffee on herself. Coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Die. Can you think of the reason why the coffee was the first thing that he saw? Phoenix, do not say anything. I don't want you spoiling for her. Do you know why the coffee stain was the first thing he noticed? Or don't you? Well, there's actually a bit of a reason why the coffee is the first thing he noticed, besides that coffee is the only thing he thinks about. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Something else? I presume you mean, of course, I'm referring to the pocket. The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide, the very poison used by the killer, was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison? In Maggie's pocket? Yeah, Maggie's purse were the only ones on it. What?! Order! The court accepts these items into evidence. Apron added to the court record. Potassium cyanide added to the court record. There's something still bothers me. Mr. Godot? Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Are you starting to figure out what the problem is? Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? The answer to that is pretty obvious, if you think about it. Do you know the answer to it? Yes? No? Maybe? Probably not. Well, we'll find out exactly what it is here soon, but why can't he see it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why can't he see it? Why can he only see the coffee? Look at what he's wearing. Look at what he's wearing, and look at what color those are. Yes. As long as he's wearing that, he cannot see red at all. No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup? She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. We're talking about a French restaurant, okay? The only thing I can think of a ketchup is used is on burgers. But burgers aren't French. Eggs. Well, eggs aren't exactly French either. They're Belgian. Still. Whoops, I was. Breakfast. I did not want to show that on stream, but too late now. Pull a stunt like that again, and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup. Witness. I thought everyone knew about it. What it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence. They have all been clearly established. Well, Trite, it seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe the court, the crime scene, and the findings of your investigation there. The investigation. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. We're going to remember that time for later. Okay? So, Di, make a note of it. Don't forget that time. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identifications on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. You go there and find the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, Trite. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one, so let the fun begin. Ouch. Are you ready for this one? I see one recommended testimony for this one. Okie dokie. You gotta think of what devices she's on, Phoenix. She cannot take her computer into the bathroom. And her little small tablet does not really run YouTube that well. Alright, you ready now, Di? Totally read that question wrong, didn't you, Phoenix? Scary old man, Detective Gumshoe? There's an old man who's a regular at the restaurant where the incident happened. We're obviously talking about the same old man. Officers were dispatched right after the report came in, but the old guy still made a fuss. What took you so long? Then he hurled abuse at them and seeds. Seeds. Ha! It was nothing. I caught each one with my teeth. I guess not even the mighty Goodell could avoid being attacked by this guy. The old man was the only other customer in the place at the time. He took his time finding a payphone apparently, so he was late reporting the crime. How long was the defendant unconscious for? The officers at the crime scene around 2:40. Maggie was still out cold in the kitchen at the time. It took another 10 minutes or so before she came to. I would have liked to have been on that scene myself. Gumshoe, for a moment now, let's keep it professional, please. I bet you would have liked to have carried out the search too. I would have loved to see Maggie asleep like that, all pretty and peaceful. Yes, keep it professional. You're a professional detective, Gumshoe, not a professional bird watcher. We just stated that. We just stated that. Save the romantics for your own time, detective. All we need to know about is the investigation. Oops, I guess I'm pretty red right now, aren't I? Yeah. You didn't have any? Are you saying that it was stolen then? No, I don't think so. The victim didn't have a driver's license or even a credit card on him, pal. All he had was 58 cents in his wallet. 58 cents? Yeah, I can't believe I found someone with less than there was than me, pal. He's a computer programmer that works at a small-time computer agency that pays him pennies a month. Of course he's gonna have 58 cents. Though, if it was a true government, if it was a true business, they would have to be within minimum wage, and they would have to at least be paid bi-weekly, which I despise bi-weekly pay. I think it's useless to have a bi-weekly pay, because weekly pay pays better. Matter of fact, a lot of times, your bills come in odd days that your paycheck doesn't come in on. So there are times that you cannot pay your bills on days those checks comes in. Another day, another dollar. Yes, that's the old saying. The victim sounds like he was a thorough, miserable young man. Or some kind of outlaw. Why not give him a bit of an edge? I think I'm onto something here. Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to the court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. He's so let down. He got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eye thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table along with the lottery ticket. Seems Mr. Glenn Elg visited his doctor before he went to Tribulations. We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doc who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually the bag we found was empty. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty? Victim's prescription bag added to the court record. Ha! You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence? Desperate are you, trite? No, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? But the defendant had been passed out for a while, correct? In that case, isn't it possible someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? Hey, yeah, you nailed it, pal! It happened to me all the time. We had a department party the other day, and when I got home, I was wearing the boss's shoes. HOW question mark. Anybody know what that spells? I swear to God, if they didn't make the Flintstones movie back in 1995, Dick Gumshoe would make a great Fred Flintstone. Keep up this crazy testimony, detective, and those shoes will end up down your throat. Sorry? So, Troy, someone planted the evidence in Maggie's pocket? That's a pretty bold statement. Care to back it up with some evidence? Well, I'd love to if I had any. It appears you have no evidence to support your theory, Mr. Wright. Continue with your testimony, witness. Hey, we now actually have evidence that contradicts the statement. Well, before we didn't have any. So the $500,000 lottery ticket and the bottle of poison were accounted for? Yeah. Interesting. It's true that those two items are accounted for, but wasn't there another lottery ticket that was stolen that day? Oh, yeah, the one that the restaurant owner took. He won a whole dollar with it. What a lucky guy, huh? I don't think I would feel lucky if I won Mr. Washington. Would you feel lucky if you won Mr. Washington? I mean, Abraham Lincoln is better value than Washington. And Benny, he's really valuable. And 100 bennies is $1,000, right? I don't think I would feel lucky winning a George Washington. Sorry. Especially in this day and age, you can't buy anything with a Washington. And they're just going to let him get away with it? It was just $1, detective. I guess no one cares when it's that little, except for Gumshoe. If I don't find a hole in this testimony, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. Gumshoe isn't giving us anything to work with, and we can't find any contradiction if he doesn't give us something. Yeah, that's true. Who makes more money than Gumshoe? Who makes more money than Gumshoe? Well, Phoenix, who makes more money than Gumshoe? John Armstrong? If he did, then he would be able to pay his $500,000 debt. If he did, he would be able to pay that $500,000 debt. And the fact that he doesn't get any customers means that John Armstrong doesn't get paid. So Gumshoe is definitely getting paid more than John Armstrong. But Maggie and Gumshoe are like Dumb and Dumber. Maggie is Lloyd and Gumshoe is Harry. That Dumb and Dumber, right? You know, I swear to God, if that movie was never released, that reference would not be used. I swear to God. Our only hope is that they were so dumb they missed something obvious. Come on, Gumshoe. Be the dumbest you've ever been. Okay. All right. Let's find that statement. No. Thank you, computer, for screwing everything up. Computer had a fit, so it caused the monitors to flash, and any application is running, they all reset. They pretty much all reset. Audio's quiet too. Shouldn't be coming from the mic. Minority gate, for whatever reason. Hello? Are you serious with me? You screwed up my microphone? Hello? What the heck? Well, the microphone's not working anymore. Okay. Well, for some reason, noise suppression, noise gate were reset when the XSplit reset itself. So I don't know why it did that. So this needs to be turned back on. Default speaker needs to be off. Set for system settings. Game Capture HD 60X. Device management. Hold on a sec. I'm in the wrong section, aren't I? You are. Okay. Go up here. Well, I was there. Okay. Okay. Default speaker. No. We have to go into device settings. Change this. Default. No. So it's not picking up the TV for some reason. So go into the control panel. Go to hardware and sound. Go to sound. Click on sound. Okay. We have to turn that on. You have to write. Okay. So what else are we? No, this is for that. That should be that TV right there. It's red. Okay, so it's saying it's not plugged in. But it is plugged in. It's saying it's not plugged in. But it is plugged in. And there it goes. I'm going to reset my... You're going to have to reset Elgato now. Device not connected properly. Device is not available. So refresh the game. I would if this thing wasn't frozen. Now it's not capturing anything. Hold on a sec, guys. No, I don't. I told you this. It's frozen. Come on, stop being frozen. Yes, I know. We had to change it because, for whatever reason, when the this computer does this little flashing thing, it defaults everything to the monitor, which the monitor has 0 audio because it doesn't have any speakers. That's the issue. Because we believe that there's the HDMI port on the graphics card has a short into it, so we may have to fix. There may be a weld that's broken on the graphics card for the HDMI port. So, anyways, you're looking for a statement. Everything should be good now. Everything should be good now. So, we'll probably have to see if we can't fix the weld in the graphics card. And if that's fixed, then we shouldn't have any more issues. Because as of right now, we can't go out and buy a different graphics card at the moment. Okay. I also don't understand why our noise suppression noise gate reset itself too. Which I gotta double check that first. See if that's still on there. No. I can't check it now because it's all on the other on the television, because it won't stay here. Now, you read the statement. Maggie was searched. They did find a lottery ticket and the bottle in her apron. So that statement is true. Like when I said earlier, we now have a piece of evidence that'll contradict one of these statements. Because before, when we had this testimony, we didn't have that piece of evidence. Now we do. So, the statement says, and that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. So now that we know one piece of evidence that we received, Detective Gumshoe, I think I should point something out to you. There's just one small contradiction in your testimony. Oh, finally! I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will you? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Tribulations. Where then did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal! Indeed. Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital piece of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've ever done so far, sir, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? Ah! That's all. Folks. What? Don't you understand Looney Tune references? Read from the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, will you? What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New Ear Ornological Clinic? Ornological Clinic? I am gonna. I gotta Google search this. I gotta do the pronunciation for this. OTOLARYngological.
We are looking at how to pronounce these words as well as how to say more interesting words, confusing words and medical terms that may pronounce it close to the channel if you're learning. Otolaryngologist. Otolaryngologist. How you say such a once you know, like and subscribe if you found this video useful. Otolaryngologist. Number. Otolaryngologist. Now you know. Thanks for watching.
Nobody sneezed, so don't use that. Nobody sneezed. You probably need to see an otolaryngologist. The guy said it was easy to say otolaryngological. Does it look easy to say? Because over here where Phoenix, the term is a medical profession. So who uses the word? Answer your own question. Answer your own question. Just what kind of illness was this victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honor. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. Unfortunately, he's not a war victim. Or fought in a war. Because the kid is way too young for that. However, the similarity isn't far off. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. L found himself in a fight. See? He took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. Now, Capcom discovered the mistake that they made in the original game. And they carried the mistake over on the DS. They fixed it in the remakes. I bet you did not notice that, did you, Phoenix? So, give me a minute. Because the guide I'm using uses the old profiles. Should have noticed it. It's actually pretty easy to discover. But yes, Capcom did indeed figure out their mistake. And they corrected it. In all sequential versions after the DS. And I think I will send you the image, Die. And you can actually send it to Phoenix. You tell me if you actually notice it. I know it's a little tiny, but I know the image is a little tiny, but you should notice it. And they changed it in this image here. Tell me if you notice it. It is. Well, actually, it's let's put it this way. It's actually Game Boy Advance because they carried all the images and moved it over to the DS, with the exception of the background, which is upgraded. The sprites are pretty much almost identical between the Game Boy Advance and the DS version. But you take a look at his ear, okay? This ear right here, in that image, you will see something on his ear. And they had to correct it in this new one. Tell me if you see it. Well, he has an earpiece in his left ear. He has an earpiece in his left ear. And as you go throughout the entire case, it gets very confusing as to why there's an earpiece in his left ear when he can't hear out of that ear. And because it's been so confusing to many, Capcom fixed it. So, yeah, I noticed that when I was playing it, I was trying to figure out why. Because there is a Wii version of the game. Okay? Which is the reason why where everybody was able to see it more, is because they played it on the Wii. And the Wii version is identical to the DS port, except for the fact is there's no bottom screen. But that's where we all saw the earpiece. And we were so confused by it. It's as if he can't hear out of the left ear. Why does his profile picture have an earpiece in his ear? Well, Capcom had to go fix it. And that's why his ear kind of looked a little funny in this picture, because there was indeed an earpiece there. So, you take where you see where UMD is at. Down below it, you'll see like something over it. That's generally a mistake. But it looks kind of different from the pattern that his hair is over on the right side. Well, that was the earpiece. And it would have went into the ear. So they changed the color of the point to make it match his ear. So it looks funny on the left side. Looks very funny on the left side. But that's what that is. And most people probably overlooked it. They probably never noticed it. I noticed it. It's clear as day. He ruptured his eardrum? Then how on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. What? It mentions in the autopsy report, if you read the fine print, they found traces of medication in the victim's left ear. But yes, here it is. It's very, very fine print. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Tribulations. Di, did you send him the image that I sent you? Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. Well, of course it's tiny. That's the size of the file. But you should still be able to see something. But you're on mobile. You can make your screen bigger by taking your freaking index finger and thumb and then zoom right in. Well, you can do that on desktop and actually on laptops too. So you can go and you can click this little 3 dots, and then you'll find this where is it? Where is that zoom key? Oh, right there. Zoom. Click, 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 click. Zoom it right on in, and it'll blow the image right up for you, and you can see it clear as day. Something you can do, Di. Click the 3 dots, find where it says zoom, click the plus, and zoom it in, and you can actually see it. Ugh. It seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No! Nick! If you don't think of something quick, it'll be over. He's right, but I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? Only moments ago, Mr. Goodell made the following statement. It seems Mr. L correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trade BN. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. That doesn't change the fact that it could not have been found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth.
Objection!
You know as well as I do that the medication's irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide.
Objection!
It hardly seems likely the coffee the waitress served could contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. Urgh! That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot? I've got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Mr. Godot? The pigeon hater? Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems like more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial. And that is something that bothers me. Yay! Good job, Nick! Court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Ha! I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. Court is adjourned for recess. January 7th, 11:03 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1. So, Di, did you blow it up and get a chance to see it? Phoenix should have been able to see it too. Phew, that was close. Tell me about it. I nearly died in there. Really? Do we have to bring defibrillators in there? Do we have to call Dr. Derek Stiles in there? Angie Thompson? Anyone? That's my line, sir! No, it's my line! I think I really did die a bit there. Looks like we all nearly died in there. So then the detective nearly died there. And the prosecution. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me. But he totally set me up. I don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right? It's okay, I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurts this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is going to be the old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo. Lover of waitress's outfit. And projectile seeds. I bet he's going to be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know. Yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I can take whatever he throws at me, even those never-ending bird seeds. He's got a cheat code on those bird seeds, you know that, Di, right? He has a game genie connected to his bird seeds, and all he has to do is punch in the code infinite bird seed. Bullet seed. Maybe he would be good for a Smash character. What do you think? That would be a good Smash move. So we got Pearl Fay and we've got Victor Kudel as Smash characters. January 7th, 11:55 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. Prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Name and occupation, if you don't mind. The name is Victor Kudel, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Excuse me while I push up on my proboscis. Honor and duty are what makes me, mind you. I can be quite emotional at times too. I got a red proboscis because I keep beating on it. Yeah. He's got Mario's proboscis. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation. My occupation? Ha! Listen, young'un. How much call you think there is for kimono embroidery here? Maybe. But doesn't Wario actually have a nostril? And then his nose sort of comes into a point like Waluigi? While Mario's proboscis is just a big round ball. Kimono embroidery? That's what I said, what I do, or did, back in Japan. I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country ever existed. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. Because this country existed. This country existed. It was discovered. And if his family was around back in the 1400s, then the art trade is older than... It's pretty old. Wow, a real craftsman. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe he could embroider my costume someday. Anyways, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working the cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile. Would you like a buggy? Oh wait, this is a burger joint, not Walmart. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. He's a delusional man, so I wouldn't question it. Now then, witness. Were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh yes, I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javasino. Seeds? What do you think these are, A seed. So, you saw everything that happened, Gramps? Did I? Oh yes I did, saw it all. Then please, tell the court. We're all ears. Sure. I'll tell you every last detail. He's really getting into this. Don't call me old bag. What I witnessed. The young man was reading the sports paper. The servant girl brought him a Javasino, but she put something in it. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in a terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. I forgot that she wore glasses. What was her hair color again? I forgot. Mr. Kudo, she is not a servant girl. Please referred to her as a waitress. Ha! You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with the old-fashioned ones, Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses is wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Oldbag, it is time to question you. Don't call me Oldbag. So you saw the victim then? You saw Mr. Glenelg? I wanted to know if Gustin Braun retained his championship or not. So he was looking at the sports paper the victim was reading, huh? And at the location in question, there were partitions between tables on the same side of the restaurant, right? So, what if there are? If you say that you could see the victim, that means you were sitting at a table on the other side of the restaurant, correct? I go to the place to drink Javasino. I don't go to sit. I don't remember which table I was sitting at. You mean you go there to eye the waitress? Mr. Kudo, this is a very grave accusation. Are you sure about what you saw? Victor Kudo never makes a mistake. I dot every T and cross every I. I see. Dai, you have a question for that one, right? My eyesight's fine! That was mixed up. My eyesight's fine. The doctor said I only need spectacles for reading and driving. That means your eyesight is not fine. I bet his eyes are only really fine when he's scoping out a waitress. I saw what the serving girl put in the Javasino as well. Bet I know what's coming up, and something tells me I'm not going to like it. Your Honor, we need more clarification on what was put into the victim's coffee. I'd like to ask that the victim add what he knows about this to his testimony. I agree. Witness, will you enlighten us, please? Sure. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Did you really put the... Did she really put that into the coffee? You doubt me, boy? She took some out of a small brown bottle and sprinkled it in. Couldn't she have been adding sugar? Sugar in a small brown bottle like that? Like that? Witness, could you please describe the bottle in more concrete terms? Ha! A bottle like this, perhaps? Oh, that's it! That's the one! That's the bottle of potassium cyanide, I presume. So what did the accused put into the coffee? I think it's clear, don't you? Arrgh. That's what they said, white powder. He took just one sip. You young'uns, you waste everything. Those Javacinos cost $8. In the good old days, we could have drank every last drop, eaten the cup, and then died. For $8! Congratulations. You have earned the title of Battiest Man to Grave a Courtroom. So, it was an immediate death? Well, with potassium cyanide, I suppose that it is possible. Oh yes, he slumped over without so much as a twitch. I felt the Javasino I just drank turned sour in my stomach. Oh yes, I know that feeling. And the waitress? I presume she is... You said, I remember her well, in reference to the waitress. Does she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her, you know. She's practically naked in that uniform! So the particular features you recognize about the waitress is her outfit? But anyone could wear just such a uniform, even me! Mr. Wright, please bear the coat of any further mental anguish from that image. Don't get all excited, Nick. You've got to keep yourself together. I guess I got a little carried away. There are other things I recognize about her, too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? Sure, you saw a waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether the waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right. Mr. Cadeau, these other features that you recognize about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair and her apron's straps were loose. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face? Ha! As if I wouldn't remember that!
Objection!
The witness noticed the straps on the accused's apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right! I can even tell you the color of the ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. There's no doubt he remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. He's mentioned everything about the straps as he has just mentioned. So we do the next best option. The identifying features you describe are all those you would have seen from the back. So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection!
Ha! He's got you there, Gramps! People normally talk about facial features when they're asked to describe someone. But this witness's testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment! I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps and ribbons! I'm just telling you what I saw! Mr. Kudo, the court requested that you add details about any identifying feature. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. This man's testimony is getting longer and longer. And if I can't find a hole in it soon, it'll get even longer. I bet. Better go find a player's guide. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her when I saw her from the front. Ooh! Die! Does that catch you off guard? You didn't find anything to be distinct? But you did clearly see the witness's face, yes? No questions about it! I didn't come this far to back down now. Victor Kudo never backs down. That's not the answer I was looking for, but okay. This has turned into a matter of pride for old CD now, I guess. I wonder if he really did see Maggie's face or not, like I thought. We need some concrete proof of this. Proof that the old man didn't see the waitress clearly from the front. Do you think old CD really saw Maggie do it? Well, he probably had his eye on the waitress the whole time. That's why he was there. But he was there for the cute outfits, right? Not the waitress. I guess. That's a good point, though. Hey, did I just say something clever? I wonder if the waitress, Mr. Kudo, was really if the waitress Mr. Kudo saw really was Maggie. That's what we have to figure out. That's what we have to figure out, Nick. Alright, do you know what statement it is? And what evidence?
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this. Ka! That filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, it reminds me of what my grandson looks like just after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Do you think I forget something as dirty as that? Well, you half-witted clot. Burned. 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 What? What is it? Ever since I saw you said you have witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron. Is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning? Huh? And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before, yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. Witness, you can't just oops your way out of this. I love how the judge just uses that term like it's willy-nilly. Ha! Well, looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Trite, here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when the one waitress put the coffee poison into the coffee cup, this old man was watching. Hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember saying. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. Oh, the next testimony is gonna be very easy, Di. Because we have evidence to contradict it. You can rely on me, Captain. My nog is in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted. Can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he blocked it out. Very well, let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. About the victim, Joe called me old bag. He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and that noisy brat kept rustling his pages. The young man was listening to the wireless, I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Javasino. The little fidgeted picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. The testimony we have just heard was the test how credible the witness's testimony is. So pretty much what I'm saying is this testimony is pretty much an eyesore. Okay? This testimony is an eyesore. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we going to handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? I suppose, but it's what we do best. But it's what I do best. Don't call me old bag. Now, I'm sure you probably saw the statement in question. Spectacles? Dark glasses to you. One of those lenses was green, but the other was broken. Newfangled rubbish. That's what I remember him so well. He did have some kind of lens over his left eye, but I wouldn't have called it a pair of glasses. He seems to have been wearing one of those modern-looking shades. Perhaps I should take to wearing some and rival Mr. Godot's sharp appearance. We better come up with something sharp and quick. Guess I'll wait and see if I should challenge him about the spectacles. The newspaper was a sports paper, was it? That young hooligan, I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting, How was I supposed to be able to read the back paper with all that wrestling going on? I needed to find out if Gus and Braun retained his championship title. It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you buy your own? What am I? Ow, ow, ow! Gus and Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. Anyways, the paper's a month ago. See, he must have won his belt a month ago, and he lost his belt yesterday? The wireless? The decadent young rascal. In my days, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless. Why can't I do both? My body is equipped to do both. I can listen to music and read the paper at the same time. Matter of fact, it's a lot more relaxing to listen to music while reading. But I was always told not to listen to music while I'm studying. But that's how I was able to study more, was listening to music. Oh boy. And using an earpiece, it's selfish, that's what it is. I was straining my eyes, but I couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? What are you looking at me? Ow, ow, ow! Di likes being hit with seeds. So that's why she's pressing all these statements. You mean the waitress who You only saw from the behind, right? You're one of those, are you? You never let anything go, isn't that right? Maybe. What does it matter if I saw it from the front or from the back? Ow, ow, ow! I better not push until I got some hard evidence. His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Were you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was wrestling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If his free hand wasn't his right hand, ow, ow, ow! Ha! Perhaps the great Mr. Trey had 3 hands. Yeesh. I was only asking, no need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. What do you mean, rip headphone users? What are you doing listening to your headphones at full volume there, Phoenix? What are you doing listening to your headphones at full volume? Then how do you know it hurts headphone users? If you don't have any headphones on, how do you know it's going to hurt the headphone users? I guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. Well, we got a headphone user right here. Died? Did that hurt your ears? See, she would have said something. She would have said something because she does wear earphones. Matter of fact, I will tell you one thing. Today's earphones has a lot of bass into it. So, my little high volume pitch sound that you hear through your phone speakers, it's almost mellowed out on headphones and earphones today. Because there's a balance to them. Your phone doesn't have a balance to it. It's got a freaking single speaker that's right at the bottom of it, and that's all you hear. It's not real. I don't even know why people are using it to watch videos, because it's not suited to watch videos. Because there's only one tiny little speaker onto it. Or it would be on the top because you have to use it as a phone anyways. But that's the only speaker that there is. The only speaker. Di, you know the statement? This is the easiest testimony. The easiest. Phoenix is probably sitting there. I struggled on this so much. How do you say it's easy? He had a newspaper in his right hand. Well, we don't have anything to prove that, so that's not gonna help us. You heard me, Phoenix. I said this is one of the easiest testimonies and I'm thinking about how you would play it. Well, it's easy for me. I couldn't figure it out the first time around. Have you read that book? Well, it was already proven that he was listening to the radio. Remember, he was listening to a lottery drawing on the radio. So, that one's correct. You know the To Kill a Mockingbird is a novel, right? The book has like 100 pages in it. Think about, read what that says. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip.
Objection!
That was easy, wasn't it? Go press your easy button. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I tell you nothing. If I got something wrong, I'll eat the seeds and sing the pigeon song. The pigeon song. What's the pigeon song? Maybe you can look up the pigeon song. Maybe you'll find out what the pigeon song is. Care to tell us where this is going, Troit? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. Cha! What is this? Kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim, you notice the mark left by the victim's lip. Yes, this is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where the stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Cadeau, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Aye! Mr. Cadeau, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park. Wait! If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? That young brat who's holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good law-abiding citizen, I am. It's that dead young hot bot and you spiky-haired yahoo, who are at fault. Who, me? Thank you, old man. We've heard enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Cadeau, but sure, why not hear a little... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Cadeau? But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on me, Victor. Left hand or right hand? Don't call me old bag. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fidgeting with it all the time. He was fidgeting with it just before he picked up the cup too. And that he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. You saw that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye? It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HDTV, DVD, CD. All these newfangled letters drive me mad. But they don't matter. I know what I saw, and I'm telling you the truth. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts. In good old black and white. Left hand or right hand? Don't call me old bag. Oh, this one's an easy one too. Matter of fact, it's so easy. It is so easy. I don't even have to press a button for this one. Well, technically, I don't have to press a button for this one. So the victim was wearing an HMD. HDTV, CD, DVD. What does it matter? It was none of them actually, but anyways. And you're sure that he was wearing the earpiece on the same side? No question. I could only see the side of his head from where I was sitting. To think that this game came out in 2004, and we didn't really were introduced to HDTV. I mean, we were slowly moving into 720p. That was 720pi that we were moving into. We were slowly moving into digital television as well. So We didn't fully get to see HD TV until, I'd say, what year was it? 2010? Something like that? We didn't fully get to see HD TV until 2010. Hold on. High definition television was introduced in the United States on October 29, 1998, during live coverage of astronaut John Glenn. But we didn't have it. In case of TV, the first 720p video was in 1998. And 1080p was in 2007. So I was technically correct. On June 12, 2009, the Federal Communications Commission mandated that all US-based television signals must be transmitted digitally. The great majority of U.S. households were prepared for the digital transition in the week prior to the power turnoff. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, that's pretty obvious if you look at the floor plans. From the opposite table, he'd only have a view of the side of the victim's head. It seems you kept an eye on Mr. Glenn Elg. He was getting on my nerves, rustling the newspaper and fidgeting with his earpiece all the time. And then he went and made all that fuss dying one sip of Davicino. I wanted to say to him, calm down, you young brat. Just look at him, made me suddenly speed up my seed eating. I could have choked. So I take it that the victim was a walking wall of nervous energy. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with? You're one of those people, aren't you? You're the type that uses your left hand to get things out of your right pocket. Or fasten your left cuff with your right hand. And when the tour guide says, on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah, and you're the only one who deliberately likes left. Well, are you? This old man. 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 No, I didn't mean. Oh, I got something in my right pocket. I'm gonna see if I can reach my right pocket with my left hand. I think I got it. Obviously, he used the hand on the same side of his body that the earpiece was in. Ow! 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 So, if he had the HMD on his left side, then it was his left hand, I guess. Guy wanted to be hit with bird seeds. Or she just likes this old man. She likes him better than Wendy Oldbag. What are we doing? You sent me something. You sent me something. Let me see. Oh. Cars. Cars. Disney cars. Disney cars. Alright, what are you gonna do now? Yeah, pretty much. I hit 100 messages again. Hey, Restream. We hit 100 back in hour 9. Actually, our first hour. Yes, I know. But I still don't think we had that many messages between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. You seem very sure of yourself, Mr. Kudo. That's because I know what I saw, no matter what tricks you tried to play on me. It looks like you really did see the guy picking up the cup with his left hand. This is a dead end. Well, Nick, what do you think? At least the guy's telling the truth. But even so, something's not quite right. Then chuck evidence at him until he breaks. But if he's not lying, there won't be any contradictions in his testimony, right? Alright. Okay, Die. I'm gonna make this as easy as possible. All you need to do is give me a piece of evidence. Or profile picture. Well, picked the glass up with his left hand, drank with his right hand. He would not be holding the handle. One thing, that cup's going to be hot. And then we have a problem with the lip marks being on the wrong side of the cup. So, this one is by far the easiest one. Yeah, maybe. Actually, it doesn't matter what statement you pick. Does not matter what statement you pick in this one. Because a profile and a piece of evidence will contradict all these statements. You just have to figure out what that is. No. Because if we go by the first statement here, the boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his spec. He kept fidgeting with it all the time. He was fidgeting with it just before he picked up the cup too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. So, all those statements are referring to this first statement right here. We can present his profile if we want to. That's going to make it easy. Is that what you want to do?
Objection!
I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Cadeau, there is something very strange about your observation of the victim. What? You say he was wearing his earpiece on the same side as the HMD. No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're not dumbfounded or unaware of the fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition was found in his ear canal, which that would be the piece of evidence that you could have also presented as well. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear, because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is this true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Order! This witness' testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from the behind, and he claimed the victim was wearing an earpiece when he knows his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Godot? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows the victim picked it up with his right hand. I never backed out. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javasino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with his cup held in his right hand and then switched it to his left. That's what the old man saw. Impossible. The witness had already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of the coffee.
Objection.
Which hand the victim used to pick up his coffee is irrelevant, Your Honor. The fact still stands. With one hand or the other, Mr. Elk drank the poisoned coffee. Like this! Sadly, Mr. Godot, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. Pah! I believe it is time to conclude today's proceeding. I'm satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court. But to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old gramps! I'm sorry, Mr. Godot. You can't reach me from there. I am invincible to your lashing bullet seeds. I'm ordering the defense and prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. No, none of you sign up for Smash. Hold on! Wait! We don't know. Where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Godot? Thanks to the blue-suited young upstart over there, I'm just a battling old man who can't even dot his T's and cross his eyes now. This is a good voice for Victor Kudau. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What? There's more? To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shot. Me? He's throwing at me like a... Look at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you have to say to the final showdown? Final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javasino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Coudeau is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court to just hear your testimony. You bet! Much quicker, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. Haha! You better get ready, youngsters! I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's gotta be using some of that infinite ammo code for that box of seeds. Didn't I just say that earlier? The final showdown! Da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da! First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of it myself. The young boy slumped over to the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javasino. Well, that clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. Like you would have Popeye's voice. Well, I can't exactly do Popeye's voice. But the simple fact is, it would really take a lot out of my voice. I mean, I can do it for about a couple of minutes. That's it. It broke, and the strap of the cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turn things upside down, hmm? Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. Hey, you're doubting me again? You're dabbing a poor, defenseless old man? Oh, no, we're not doubting you, Mr. Coudeau. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what? Probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your final cross-examination, please. It's the final cross-exam! Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, he makes this even easier. He makes this even easier. Because we actually have a piece of evidence to contradict this testimony too. What copyright law is going to stop me? Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is the difference between singing and actually playing the song. I have the right to sing it. I have the right to sing it, but I don't have the right to play the actual recording. Court has already heard that testimony, Mr. Godot. I know that! I was just setting the mood! How else am I supposed to build up the suspense, The suspense? Yes! Now, what do you think? Should I work the audience a little bit more? No, please continue, Mr. Godot, as quickly as possible. Alright, now where was I? Ah, yes. The young boy slumped over the table and... A vase, you say? Yes! There's a face on all the tables in that place. They're accidents waiting to happen. They're practically begging to be knocked over. Well, he's right about that there being vases. I do remember seeing them too. But many fancy diners have flowers on their tables. You gotta be stupid enough to actually knock them over. They're for decorational purposes. There was a vase on the table when I ate lunch there. And you saw the moment when the victim actually knocked over the vase? Well, it's hard to say. It's a bit unclear. How do you really define? Okay, I get it. I heard it break. And the sight of it burned into my memory as clear as day. Soaked in water, you mean? Yes! Splashed on me on the knee as well. Said you were sitting at a table across the victim's room. Across the room from the victim, correct? And yet the water still managed to splash on you? It's cold! I clearly remember splashing me. Did the water really make it all the way across the room to the other, across to the other side of the room? You mean the vase on the victim's table falling upside down and breaking? The vase turned upside down, and my testimony is turning this case upside down. It's a joke. I just wanted everyone to hear it. What do you think, Captain? I'm impressed by your ability to waste time. Godot hasn't raised any objections for a while now. So, yeah, you young show-off! With a scrap of information, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. If I lose this one, I'll take it like a man and admit defeat. Really giving you the evil eye, Maya. It's you he's looking at, Nick, not me. It's like he's saying, I triple dog dare you to find a contradiction, young'um. I guess I'll just have to raise the challenge then. Rise to the challenge then. Alright. Now, what statement? No, it's not going to be the last one. Because remember, the last statement was just a joke. So you can't use that statement to any credibility. Okay? We can use this one. What do you think is going to contradict this statement? Mr. Cadeau, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Okay, Devs. The flower in the picture does not match the flower that's in the item window. How did you guys goof that up? Those are two different flowers. I mean, they could be the same, but they're arranged totally different. Huh? Lost your tongue, Granddad? I'm now Granddad of yours! Ow! Ow! Enough! If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. Ah! What is it? No. I just remembered something. Yes? Go on. Are you ready for this, Di? You ready? This is gonna make you face palm so hard that you're gonna leave a handprint on your forehead. The broken vase is on my table. Okay. What? Well, you see, it dawned on me when that young leg collapsed, so I stood up. It must have been when it fell over, the vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table? Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely sunk. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I have more to say. Oh, yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait, listen to me! Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I am still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it! I therefore require both the defense and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Yes, Your Honor. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honor? The witness we just heard from, he is most insisted that his testimony should be of you. So, he summarized it according into the statement. Okay. You may each have a copy if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. Kudo's really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies. My own, yours, and Mr. Kudo's. Yes, Your Honor. Victor Kudo's testimony added to the court record. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase in my seat. I'm sorry. I'm sorry? This isn't a piece of testimony. More like a 5-year-old apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. This court is adjourned. Okay. Let's talk about this case for a little bit, shall we? Matter of fact, before I do that, what can we say about this case? This trial in particular. KUDO. So, we had a little bit of confusion with our witness, okay? So, that's the deal. And, yeah. And, now, we've left an opening for investigation because we found a flaw in the previous case. I don't know if the previous scene was able to show you exactly what this looks like. Are you able to see it better from the other one? That looks a bit more clear, doesn't it? Then there's the spine. I'm going to tip it up so it doesn't glare. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the words on the side very well. But it says Miles Edward, Ace Attorney, investigation, and the bottom says prosecutor's path. And then in the back, I printed this label out, just to let you know. The game didn't come with a box, so I had to buy a box. Then I had to make a label. And this will be one of the games that we get to play. So, this is currently the game we're playing right now. This one's going to be the next one. Of course, I have to emulate these because I don't have a way to emulate DS and 3DS games. So, but I don't have to worry about emulating the 3DS games. Di, I want to show you something. So, I don't know if you guys looked at the images in the Discord server, but you know what this game is, right? But I don't think you remember it in a plastic box, do you? They all came in cardboard boxes, but for preservation purposes, I'm actually using the, I went and got plastic cases, so they are preserved better. So this is what it looks like, all inside for this one. And I don't know if the picture shows it very well, but that label is a reproduction label. God dang, that camera makes it look cleaner than the actual label. But yeah, that's a reproduction label. But, you know what this is? Right, the Famicom version. This is not the official case either. This is in a reproduction Sega Genesis case. And I literally printed out a label for it. And voila, there's the card. And there's a picture of this in the Discord server if you ever want to take a look at it. And I did stream, Andy and I did stream this game on the channel. So this game was streamed on the channel. I've always wanted to play this version after I found out that there was a lot of differences between this version. So that's why I wanted to play that. The only way to play it, I didn't want to get all special cords for the Famicom itself. So AVS has both the NES and the Famicom put together. And this is the only Famicom card we own. We thought about getting some other ones, but some of the games, they're not any different. Oh, you had this on Virtual Console on the Wii. Yes, so did I. I have the Game Boy Advance version, I have the Super Nintendo version, and I got two different versions. This of the original game. Got it on the Switch. You have it on the Switch now. But I was saying that if you ever got to where you can actually play Game Boy games, let me make this a little easier on myself here. So So this is a traditional Game Boy game box, okay? That's a traditional box. If I open it up, you're not going to see a game in there. Okay? I am going to get a plastic sleeve for this to protect it. But there's a reason why the game's not in here. This looks like a DS case, doesn't it? Pretty much looks like a DS case. But if I open it up, you'll see the Game Boy Advance in there and the manual. This case can also work for a standard Game Boy cartridge. I have standard Game Boy cartridges as well. Like, I got a few Mario games too, so. But if you ever get Game Boy games, actually you can still get manuals for the Switch. But the problem is, you have to go to a specific dealer that sells it. I'm not an avid collector, okay? I only wanted to get a few games. Some of these games that I've owned when I was a little kid or teenager, because the Game Boy, I was a senior when I got Game Boy and GameCube games. So I'm not an avid collector. But this was one of my childhood, and I wanted to go back and play the NES because I enjoyed the NES. So I have a few. You can see some of them. The ones I don't have pictured, as of yet is probably some of the Game Boy Advance games, DS games. There's a lot of DS games I gotta go through. I don't have any of the GameCube games in there or the Wii. I have a few PlayStation 2 games. Want to specify that. So if I showed you all the consoles that I own, and I showed you a wall with all the games and stuff onto it, like this wall over here. So that's where a lot of them are at there. You've seen that wall before. And then over on this side, you're not going to get a clear look at it, but there are Game Boy games over there. You'll see N64 games. You'll see NES games, Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games. Down at the bottom should be some PlayStation games, PlayStation 2 games. I do have a homebrew over there for the Sega Genesis, which is called Attack of the Pesky Robots. You might have already heard that before. Manuals were nice, yes, you're correct. The manuals were definitely nice. And better. I don't mind physical releases, but as I'm getting older and starting to have my own space, place to live, I realize physicals limits your space. If you don't have the space, you don't have the storage. Plus, I got a whole bunch of DVDs too. They're lying around. And we got another shelf that we're going to build. And we got 2 boxes of DVDs sitting out in the laundry room that has been in the boxes since we moved in here because we haven't had the shelf to put it. So yeah, physicals are nice. But then when you realize that you don't have space, physicals aren't so nice. But, die. I got one game for you. I don't know if you saw this with the camera, but I have one game. I have a game. I'm gonna slowly bring this up. You see what console is for, right? What is it? What is it? Pokemon. You've heard of this game? You've heard of this game? I think you would enjoy this one. I think you would probably enjoy this game. So look at what the different things it has on here. I'm gonna see if I can put it in there so you can see it. So you can get the news. You can get the Pichu Brothers. You can literally paint on your TV. Do you like the game? It always boggled my mind why so many Pokemon games had the same blue and yellow colors. Matter of fact, I have a few games that has. I have a Sonic the Hedgehog game that utilizes blue and yellow. So yeah, I bought this game brand new. Long after the GameCube was technically discontinued. And I didn't get it specifically for me. I ended up getting it for my sister, who actually liked these types of games. So it is compatible for the e-reader, but the e-reader, I do have the e-reader cards, but they're kind of useless. It's compatible with the Game Boy Advance because you can actually play the Pokemon Mini on your Game Boy Advance. You actually can. It works in progressive scan mode. Oh, you had it digital for a while and then you were waiting for the physical to come in? See, I kind of wish that they would give you a discount on the digital if you already own the physical. Like say if you ordered the physical, you didn't get the digital, okay. But yeah, do do something like this, stream it. Maybe try Parsec, see if it works. I have to figure out how to no. Maybe I would have to use emulation. I don't think Parsec will work on physical release. I would have to figure out how, I would have to get the Dolphin emulator and run this on an emulator. Or Guy to get the Dolphin emulator and play Pokemon. Oh. Well, it would be hard to do videos because the Pokemon Company will allow you to play these videos straight on because they are very protected of all these, most of these, except for like, if you're watching the Pokemon news, they're not going to say anything, but if you're watching the Pichu brothers, they're going to nail you. So I would be careful if you're doing videos of anything related to the Pichu brothers. But anyways, I don't want to spend the rest of my entire night showing you games. I have too many of them. We'll be here until doomsday, showing you every one of these games. I got over 100 of them, so. And I've played them all. Well, I didn't play every single one. I played most of them. I've dabbed into a little bit of some of the other ones, but I didn't go in depth. There are some DS games that I dabbed into a little bit. There are even some PlayStation games I dabbed into. And I would have liked to have been able to go and play them all. But I was still living with my parents and my dad was a workaholic. Not to say anything bad about him, he's still very bad. But I didn't get much time to fully enjoy some of the games I actually have. So this is the best time to do it, is put it on screen and stuff like that. I have one Mega Man game, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to get it to work. Mega Man X Collection for the GameCube has an issue where it only works on certain TVs. Let me figure out who we're going to raid. lot of people are doing this vertical. That fails. I started watching vertical streams and it messed up my YouTube. And I can't fix it. Because now YouTube thinks it's a mobile app. So I can't reverse it. So I'm avoiding verticals for that reason. And I'm not sure why it does it. Why it does that. Okie dokie. There's my next link. And yeah, if you want to see more of those games, you want to see more of them games, they're in the Discord server. We do take the carts out of the box. We do show the manuals. We don't show the inside of the manuals because you can look that up on the internet itself. But yeah, you can find these in the Discord server. I do have channels for NES games. I do have channels for Super Nintendo games, N64. I don't have a lot of boxes for N64 games. We do have mods. We do have ROM hacks, stuff like that. And you can take a look at all of them in there. I will update that channel progressively once I get pictures, because I'm taking them off of Andy's phone. And when Andy gets to a point where he's taking pictures, I will do that. In the meantime,